Okay, hi everyone. I've been struggling for the past few months, like everyone. I have my own issues, and I feel like I'm stuck in this loop of struggle issues. But it's a big story, and I keep repeating the same chapter somehow. There is other chapters in between, but somehow, like I keep progressing in the book, and I'm still going back. Like it doesn't make any sense, and I believe that many of you are going through the same situation, and this led me to reflect on it. As I don't have any jobs right now, I have a lot of time to reflect on those things, and I believe I got 3 good ideas right now on why we cannot change, and I think they are good starting points. I will quickly go through them, and then I will try to detail them a little bit. My notes are down there, that's why I'm looking here. First, we are always doing the same thing. That's obvious, you'll understand when I explain. It's a self-belief, so we are believing we can only live in a way in that loop, that bubble, call it however you want. And it's also ourselves locking we lock ourselves out of change because we are focusing too much on the price and not enough on the outcome. So first point, we are always doing the same thing. Think about how you go about your day. Most of the time must be the same way. You wake up, you do A, B, then C. Most of the time the same thing. How you look for new songs. Perhaps you go to Spotify and there is a playlist for new songs to discover, and you do not have the habits, for say, to go on a website or ask friends or whatever. You always have the same way of discovering things. You have the same way of consuming, the same way of working. You start to get the point. We are used to repeat our action, which is absolutely normal. We are creators of habits. That's how we are wired. And I'm not asking you to change completely, like to have no structure in your life whatsoever, to have absolutely no routine. That's not the point. I believe we should be more willing to implement change in our life. Let's say, try to change the way you go to the gym. Perhaps if you always go at the evening, try one time in the morning, once a month, just here and there. Music example, perhaps you can try to listen something you are not at all interested in or that you have never listened. The idea is just to bring the habit of novelty in your life, of change. It's very important, just so we don't get, I won't say frustrated, but surprised by change. It's really important that you cannot really get used to it, but we are more exposed to it. And we can do it in many ways. And I believe you are smart enough to integrate that in your life. But I'm trying this currently. I went to the gym at 1 in the morning. Now I went at 8. I'd like to go at 7 in the morning. It's changing, trying to try new things. Same for the music, same for the YouTube. Try to change things in your life. You'll get used to change, because if you always do everything in the same way every day, and by everything I just not mean the routine, but I mean like every type of actions you tend to repeat the same process, you're just getting used to repeat whatever came the day before. So that's very important. Then it's a self-belief. I think I'm onto something when I wrote down that we are the sums of our limitations, and this loop is somewhat, a soothing way for us to stay in somewhere where we know what will happen, how we will feel, etc. That loop, although frustrating, it's a comfort zone, it's a safe space, it's predictable. I know what I will do, what I won't do, how it will feel, I will know everything. And that's the trap, this power that we give to the will of knowing what will happen, of comfort, is way too strong. And in a way, it's like we delegate that. Oh, I don't want the power of whatever could happen, surprise me or whatever. No, I'll give that to destiny or whatever, God, call it however you want. We suppress ourselves in our own life, and we just pretend like, oh, it's a book that reads itself, like there is no reader whatsoever, which is wrong. It's really hard, it's very abstract when I say it, but you get to realize that how passive you've been. Perhaps you have heavy emotions in the loops that you are in. Perhaps you feel like you're stuck. There is a lot of anger, frustrations. That's the case for me, for example. okay, that's one thing. Those are strong emotions. But if you are being really honest with yourself, have you ever tried to meditate, to do something against those emotions? Or are you just frustrated out of habits in a way? Have you really put forward actions? Try to really challenge yourself. Go above that fear, that laziness, or limitation of yours, whatever it is. Have you really tried? And when I mean really try, I mean it. It's not like, and it will be the last point, it's not only wanting or thinking about or dreaming or preparing, or no, it's the act of doing it. Are you actively working on getting out of this loop, or are you killing whatever is creating that loop? It can be a trigger in the morning. Perhaps every morning you go in front of your computer and your brain disconnects, or every morning you think about something that makes you sad and it ruins your day. It's really important to understand, how do you tackle that problem? How do you attack whatever is your struggle that keeps you stuck in this loop? I believe that we are locking ourselves out of change by focusing too much on the price, which is the pain that we feel. However, this loop, frustration, blah, 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 it ends up being in pain because we are living the same thing over and over again. We are focusing too much on that price and not enough on what we will receive if we process the payment. So there is pain, but pain doesn't mean anything. We all feel this pain, but if you process this pain, so if you transform pain into action, into work, into consciousness, what I mean by that is that, let's say I have to send an application. The pain is that I feel stressed and anxious about it because I have never had any answers, positive answers, and I feel like I'm doing nothing, like I'm not good enough for the job. That's pain. But if I just stay there like, oh, I'm doubtful, I don't know, never mind, I'll do something else, I'll do it later, I haven't processed that pain. I've just felt it. And I like to say, like, pain is the currency that you pay. And if you process that pain, so you process the payment, you will get the results. So without any process, there is no success, there is no result. It's very important that beyond the pain, you push a little bit more and you challenge yourself. A good example that I had is when you think, for example, about going to the gym, you're like, oh yeah, I really want to go to the gym. Then you come to the time, like it's 6 p.m., you have to go to the gym, you're like, oh yeah, but I got to clean my room and I said I will do that earlier and all. So yeah, I'll just go and clean. You had the pain of doubt, of overwhelmness, because you had like previous plan, and once it was time for you to take action, you felt the pain, but you didn't process it. You like find another way out. You find an excuses that you put above the gym, like, oh, I have to clean the room because I said blah blah blah. So you distracted yourself away from the pain, and that's what I mean when you don't process the payment. It's like you look in the other direction. That's the biggest mistake, and that's why we are staying in this loop, because we are not able to realize that we are in a loop. I mean, we can acknowledge we are in the loop, but we are still making every gear, we are making sure like it's rolling so the loop never ends. We are always doing the same things. We need to challenge our self-belief about this loop, or perhaps it's self-doubt, perhaps it's hate about something, perhaps it's the belief that you are not enough, you don't have the skills, or you don't have the time, or whatsoever. Self-belief, the ability to bring change in your life, and the will to process that pain will get us out of this pain, all right, of this loop. It's very important that it will never be just one element, and even what I'm saying is not like a magic solution. You get to reflect on your situation, you get to understand what's wrong, what's good, what can help you to change, and be brutally honest with yourself about why you keep failing. It's not the weather, it's not your environment, it's not you don't have the time or whatsoever. What are you doing wrong? Be honest. Is it that you lack courage? Is it that you are too lazy? Whatever it is, be honest with yourself. And yeah, try to implement those 3 points. Bring some change in your life regularly in the way you do things. Try to challenge your self-beliefs and reflect on yourself. You are worthy of achievements and getting out of this loop. So do not give up and do not focus so much on the pain, focus on processing that pain, using it, going beyond it. All right, I hope this is clear. It's a bit messy. I don't have the best skill to transmit my ideas, but I truly believe there is at least part of a solution here, and I hope that it will help someone. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Bye.